were two factions around the slap. There were more than that, but there were two main ones, and it was some people were like, "What the fuck is wrong with Will Smith?" Right? And then there was there were some people like that, and then there was this other group that was like, so there were three really. There was another group that was like, that ain't how you fucking handle that, but I see what was coming from. And there were other people like, yeah, good for him for protecting Jada. That's crazy as shit to me. Welcome back to BS with Brian Simpson, episode 53. Don't forget you can follow me at BS Comedian on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow me on Brian Simpson Comedy on TikTok. You can get tickets to my tour at BrianSimpsonComedy.com or click on the link in my bio on any of my socials. Shout out to everybody that came out to Colorado Springs. I'm going to be in Greenville, South Carolina this weekend, the 10th and the 11th. Go ahead and grab your tickets. And then on the 23rd, 24th, and 25th, I'm going to be in Jacksonville, Florida. Again, you can grab those tickets. And then on April 14th and 15th, I'm going to be in Greensboro, North Carolina. And finally, on the 26th of May, I'm going to be at the Rhythm City Casino in, that's Iowa, right? I told y'all I'm coming back. I told y'all I was coming back. Remember a few months ago, missed the connecting flight and had to cancel those shows. But I'm coming back. I'm coming back to Rhythm City Casino in Iowa. All right. Don't forget
you're a man of your word, Brian.
Yeah.
You're a man of your word.
Don't forget. And don't forget to check out Apocalypse Soon with Eddie Pepitone and also the Josh Parter Show. I'm sorry, Eddie Pepitone and Kevin Tinkin and the Josh Parter Show. As well as comedyfrequency.com. And again, if you want to support, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you want advice from the advice champ, email us at bswithbriansimpson@gmail.com. All right. We also have a phone number you can call and leave a message. And Rob will put that number right here beside me somewhere. And actually, for the audio people, I want to say it out loud.
323-451-1980.
Again, that's 323-451-1980. We actually have a message. Or you can record an audio thing and attach it to an email. You know, that works as well.
If Tony can do it, no, I'm going to cut his name out.
Oh, the guy that emailed us? Actually, he just sent us a sweet email thanking us for not making it.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
He's good.
Busting his balls.
He's good people. He can take it. So right away, the first article at the top of the queue. Why are so many? Actually, let's get the elephant in the room out of the way. Have the elephant in the room? Did y'all watch the Chris Rock live stream?
No, not yet.
No. I thought it was funny. It was Chris Rock back at the height of his powers, I would say. It was very, very Chris Rock. Like he did the Chris Rock thing the best he's done in a long time. And he addressed the slap. And this is when I realized, like, some people just want to be mad about shit. You know what I mean? Because I thought I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. And but there are some people that I think there's some people that just don't get what comedy is. They think they have a sense of humor because they laugh at stuff. I mean, you might, because when someone says you don't have a sense of humor, they don't mean you don't think anything's funny, right? It's just like all your other senses. You have a sense of smell, but some people can't smell shit. Really, they smell like the most powerful smells, and that's it. It's the same thing, right. Or sense of taste, right? It's degrees to it, and some people just. They don't have a good sense of humor. They're the sort of people that need everyone around them to be feeling how they feel. You know what I mean? Because it's like the hecklers that get mad. Because this has happened to me before. In the middle of a set, the crowd is laughing and someone is just pissed off, and they want everyone to stop laughing. You know what I'm talking about? Like
Right.
they want to wake up and go, this isn't funny. This isn't funny. Because they can't handle, because you could just leave, right? But there's some piece of you that needs everyone to feel hurt or distraught or whatever the fuck emotions that you can't handle, right? And some of these people, they just, I don't know. So anyway, there were two factions around the slap. There were more than that, but there were two main ones, and it was some people were like, "What the fuck is wrong with Will Smith?" Right? And then there was there were some people like that, and then there was this other group that was like, so there were three really. There was another group that was like, that ain't how you fucking handle that, but I see what was coming from. And there were other people like, yeah, good for him for protecting Jada. That's crazy as shit to me. Those people are nuts. I'm sorry. And because I think like I said, I think some people are they are narcissists in the guise of activists. And so it's like, yeah, and they've picked the perfect the perfect thing to do for them is to find a cause to justify their narcissism, or to justify whatever whatever little evil shit is in them, where they get to be evil to people. What the fuck what did Jada's Pinkett need protecting from?
Right.
From a mild fucking joke?
Yeah, she's a wealthy, famous actress, right? I mean,
oh right. But even besides all that, because if you watch what Chris Rock was saying about it, it's the same thing everybody was saying about it. Where it's like, yo, that came from his inability to confront his wife with that same fervor. She cheated on him with his son's friends, and then interviewed him about it on her talk show, which embarrassed him. Yeah. And so that's the point that Chris Rock made on this special, was like, yo, everybody in the world called you a bitch, and then you smacked me. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but that's pretty much what it is. Like, but some people feel like, oh yeah, he was justified in slapping him for he was protecting his wife. Protecting her from what? It's because it's wild. It's wild that we ain't find out she had alopecia until we needed to justify Will Smith's actions. And when she telling everybody else, she telling all the rest of their business on her talk show.
I think a lot of people made a lot of assumptions about what their relationship was like, because it looked to me, because I didn't really follow all the drama before the slap happened. I knew about the entanglement situation.
Well, that was hard to avoid. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew about that part, but that to me, like, that's a dude that got cucked and then had to make a decision about whether to stay with his wife, and he made the decision to stay with his wife. And that, when you make that mental decision, then that requires you to take certain actions, right? Later on, to be consistent.
Yeah, but to put your business out there in the street like that,
right?
Like, because I forget who I heard say it, but it was basically like, you
wait. Let me be clear though about what I mean there is that he put himself in a bad position by deciding, after he was embarrassed in front of the entire world, to like stick by his woman, right? Because then he had to reassert his masculinity. He had to become her protector when she didn't need any protection in that way.
I agreed. That's a perfect way to put it. And in a large group of these people, where it's almost like, I think some people's causes have become like dogmatic for them, and they won't back down. So there's this huge thing in the world now of like, or it's not even huge, but there's a loud, small faction of people that think that any criticism of a woman that happens to be black is unacceptable. Because a large group of the people that fucking hate Chris Rock right now, like he did something, like he ain't the victim here, right? It's because it's that. It's like he said something to a black woman. Forget the fact that like she's one of the worst people, one of the worst celebrities. You understand what I'm saying? It's like nothing happened to her. She got everything she wanted out of all these situations. She's fine. Chris Rock got smacked doing his job, got embarrassed in front of the world.
Right.
So what are we talking about here? Like all he did was make fun of them. He ain't knuckle up. He ain't send goons to their house. He did his job. He turned his pain into comedy. And some people still mad about it. Oh, so why couldn't he just let it go? It was a year ago. What you mean? So now it's a statute of limitations. Like what are we talking about? Is a statute of limitations on jokes?
Yeah, how long is too long? If he had talked about it, see, that's also a catch-22 bullshit, because if he had talked about it right then all the same people would have been saying, oh, he's trying to cash in on having caused this pain to somebody else, and now he's playing the victim.
Well, no,
or you know what I mean?
It's a lot of these people that they don't understand how comedy works.
Yeah.
It's like, sure, I'm sure he had a funny take the next day. Mm-hmm. I'm sure he was surrounded by people, or maybe not the next day, but like, after a few days when it all died down, I'm sure he had some funny takes, and I'm sure he had some funny ass friends that had some funny ass takes. But almost no jokes, and obviously I'm nowhere near a Chris Rock's level. I'm sure he about 30-some years in the game. But I've been doing this now for this going to my 13th year. And I can count on one hand the amount of jokes that were ready right out of my head the first time. It takes time to hone it and edit it, and it shrinks and gets bigger and shrinks and gets bigger, and you adding things and boom, and then you running it by people and they giving you angles that you didn't have before, and that can take months and months and months to get it right, to get it where it's not just something that's funny, but it's something that's deep and funny and hilarious, and you don't leave no meat on the bone. And that's because he went on tour. It's not like he just
right.
It's not like he'd been gone for a year and then he just decided to record a special. It's like, no, he's been working on this joke for months, for working on this hour. So,
and it's not just the one joke, right? It's integrated into a larger piece of art, which is his full special.
Right?
It's not just writing the 30-second clip that ends up on TikTok that's just like, oh, it's just one joke. It's part of a master of the art form putting out a full new hour of content.
So many people have this hip hop view of comedy,
Yeah.
You got 72 hours to respond, like it's a diss track. That's asinine. It's like, let me repeat this. Chris Rock did nothing wrong to Jada Pinkett and Will Smith.
Correct.
No. So, I don't know. Maybe it's some process in my logic sequence that's missing, that where I don't get how you can come to that conclusion. Upgrade your room's frat house energy with posters that won't peel off the wall. DISPLATE is the metal poster that will add class to any room. They have officially licensed designs from Fight Club, Alien, South Park, and so much more. You can even get your own artwork printed onto these one-of-a-kind metal posters that only take 20 seconds to install. Your poster comes with a magnetic sticker, so you just pop it on the wall and hang your poster. No power tools, no wall damage. Easily switch out a new poster in seconds. Guys, it works. I use them. It is just as easy as they say. All right? Click the link in our description.
We ordered a whole bunch of them for the green room at the studio.
Yeah.
Great.
they're great. Yeah, especially the no wall damage part. Because if you're renting out there, and let's be honest, you don't have a house. You're a millennial. So if you're interested, and here's another thing: I don't do ads for stuff that I don't use, like stuff that I don't fuck with. I would never do an ad for some shit I hate, and I really like DISPLATE. So if you're interested, click the link in our description to see some of my favorites and get your ready-to-hang piece of art. Save 22% if you buy 1 or 2 and get 32% off when you buy 3 or more. The discount will be automatically applied to your cart when you click the link. Use offer code BS when you visit DISPLATE.com to get the discount. That's DISPLATE.com, code BS, or click the link in the show notes. Unless you just...
Oh, you understand how you can come to that conclusion.
Oh, well, yeah, because I kind of do. Because you know what's so funny, too, is I would love to just dismiss these people as all stupid. But I know some of them, and I know they're not stupid, you know? So I think it's also dismissive to say, oh, it's willful ignorance. You know, I just think it's dogmatic. It's like because speaking in absolutes sounds better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then that backs you into a corner. Like all the people that were saying, believe all women, you know, and then because that sounds good. It looks better on a sign than believe most women, kind of, sort of, sometimes. Right? So you can't be nuanced when you're taking a stance, you know. But then you end up with the Amber Heards of the world. Right? And it's like, well, what about that bitch? And then, and some people go, well, yeah, you know, why don't I don't mean all women literally, but then other people go, they double down and go, no, her too. I believe every fucking thing she said. You believe everything Amber Heard said, right? And I know this is gonna get a little backlash, but I don't give a fuck, you know, because I'm no Johnny Depp stan, you know, but she was on tape telling him, like, no one's gonna believe you that I hit you, or they're gonna think you're a pussy, or whatever. Like straight up abuser talk. And you know, so all I'm saying is all the major shit that he said she did was on tape or in photographs. And all the shit she said he did was just shit she was saying. You know, and maybe both of them are trash. I don't know. I ain't never met neither one of them. But I know she ain't somebody that I believe. I don't believe nothing she say from this point forward. Mm-hmm. You know, yeah, I don't have to believe you after you lie, just so I can stick to the catchphrase. You know what I mean? Just so I can stick to the slogan. Yeah, you gotta back off. You gotta back off a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's like Black Lives Matter. I'm all for that. I'm all for that. I'm all for justice and all of this, but I'm not going to defend every nigga that gets shot by the cops. Some people should get shot. You know what I mean? That's just the truth. And so I do my best to be objective. And am I a little biased? Sure. And I think anyone that grew up with, you know, anyone who's like, well, most of your interactions with police are negative, or growing up anyway, you're gonna be biased because all the cops you knew were shitty people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And then all the people that grew up in these small towns, or they grew up in these cities where all the cops look like them, or they all went to school together and all that shit. They don't experience. To them, they like, nah, what are you talking about? I ain't never seen anybody act like. So you're gonna be a little biased, but some shit is just beyond that. Some shit is just the proof is right in front of you. You know what I mean? Because I do get a lot of times cops will shoot someone and then they'll go, he went for my gun. I was afraid for my life. I thought he had a weapon. And they'll say that because those are the key phrases that get you out of trouble. That's what your union rep is telling you to say. But sometimes a nigga did go for the gun, and I was afraid for my life. And he did have a weapon. You know what I mean? And he just, or he just did some wild shit. Like he just drove a car through a parade. They didn't shoot that nigga. You know what's crazy? They didn't shoot that guy. You know what I'm talking about? He just got convicted. What is his fucking name? He represented himself like an idiot. And the judge was so lenient on this guy. Did we talk? I think we talked about him, Rob, on a couple episodes.
Khalil Brown?
No, it wasn't Khalil Brown.
Oh, Waukesha parade attack defendant is representing himself. Oh, Waukesha? I don't know. I'm sure I'm going to get lit up for mispronouncing this fucking place in Wisconsin I've never heard of.
Yeah.
Daryl E. Brooks.
Daryl Brooks. This crazy. Have you been following this guy?
Not really.
Oh, dude. Well, it's over now. But if you look up.
Yeah, this is from last year. It looks like. I
but
vaguely remember. I remember this crazy looking motherfucker with the bald head.
Yeah. His trial just ended maybe like a couple months ago.
Okay.
But man, it was a fucking shit show, and the judge was so patient with this motherfucker. And he was just, after seeing him, he didn't do himself no favors by representing himself, because I mean, if he had a,
you rarely do, Brian. You rarely do yourself favors by representing yourself.
It's so crazy, because some people don't understand that that shit ain't for the weak, man. Like, that's like you operating on yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, you can't be like, yeah, I'll be my own doctor, thank you. You know what I mean? I'll be my own surgeon, if you don't mind. That's
even if you're trained.
Yeah, that's
the perfect analogy for it, because it's like, I'm a trained lawyer. I wouldn't represent myself in court.
Well, no lawyer would. No, think about that, guys. The top attorneys in the world would not represent themselves. In fact, we just had an attorney go on trial, right? Killed his wife and son.
Oh yeah,
Murdaugh. He did not represent himself.
Correct.
Yeah, because that's crazy. You can't see the forest from the trees. Because you know why? It's because you believe you.
Yeah.
And so you're biased. You know what I'm saying? Your perspective is flawed because you can't zoom out. You're in the situation. So no matter what your level of expertise, you need an expert to come in on you. In fact, think about this. Think about how many presidents were attorneys. Obama was an attorney, right?
I believe so.
Bill Clinton was an attorney, correct?
Bill Clinton was an attorney, yeah.
Yeah. You ever see them represent themselves? Fuck no. They get sued all the time. The president of the United States gets sued quite often. Sitting while in office, they get sued a lot. They never represent themselves. You know what I mean? There's a whole department of the government to be the White House's lawyer, even if the president is a lawyer. And
even if the president has his own personal lawyer.
Oh yeah, and
that's separate from DOJ.
And these guys, and I'm sure there's other presidents that were lawyers. Was Jimmy Carter a lawyer? He was a peanut farmer. Yeah.
He's a peanut farmer.
That's bullshit.
There are tons of lawyers, though. I mean, almost all the founding fathers were lawyers.
I would love there to be a scientist in there. Can we get a scientist president?
Wasn't one? I mean, some of the early presidents were like, those moneyed up aristocratic scientists like they had back in the day. But
speaking of which,
have there been any scientist presidents?
No way.
Jefferson and Adams
were scientists.
Yeah,
but they were. You know what it is though? I think they were like dumb scientists. Like, I mean, they were scientists back when science was kind of dumb. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, that was like that. That's what I think is so funny. Is like there's a period of time that is not too long ago where you could just pretty much know all the science there was to know.
Yeah, and you didn't have to be. That's back. I put it to you like this. And correct me if this isn't true, but I read that George Washington did not actually die from whatever the fuck was wrong with him. He died because they were treating him with leeches.
I have heard that that bloodletting at the time was a very popular treatment.
Yeah, the bleaching.
And I think they bled him out and he died. Let's see, I'm looking it up now. They took out 40% of his blood and then he died.
Imagine being the motherfucker that's in the middle of bloodletting treatments when they decided that that's not a good idea. You know what I mean? Like they say, hey, yeah, you need 10 bloodlettings, and you coming in for appointment number 6, and you reading the paper like, oh yeah, bloodletting is actually fucking real bad for you. You're like, oh shit. Yeah, I think you need your blood. You need your blood at all times. There is, and still to this day, I don't think there is any disease where the cure is to take blood from you, like to purposely like drain you of blood. You know, they'll take a blood for like tests, but I don't think the cure for anything is bloodletting. I could be wrong, right?
Yeah, I don't think bloodletting is indicated for anything.
No, I think that's all the way stupid thing. Now keep in mind, there was a time where all the smartest people in the world agreed that bloodletting was the thing to do. You know?
Let's see. Modern bloodletting and leeches, Los Angeles Times.
But they clean your
I mean, yeah,
blood
it's
through dialysis.
it's also back then they used to just be like everything. Bloodletting could just cure anything. You know what I mean? That's basically a form of magical thinking. It says getting rid of blood. Let's see. Therapy for iron overload is to draw pint after pint of blood from patients until the iron stores drop to an acceptable level. Getting rid of blood also helps with a disease called polycythemia rubra vera, which is basically your bone marrow works overtime and your blood gets too thick, putting you at risk for clots and strokes. So there are some very specific blood-related conditions where bloodletting is appropriate for it, but they're rare and they're very specific. It's not like they used to do it to like cure people who thought they were werewolves and shit like that.
Yeah, like, oh, you have a cold? Come here, slit your wrist. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it used to just be like drain your blood and do some cocaine. That was the two things that we could tell you to do for medicine.
And please, speaking of scientists that I kind of disagree with, Rob, why are so many young men single and sexless?
Oh yes.
This is from Psychology Today. You know, and this is the episode where all of my female listeners decide I'm a misogynist. Because I disagree. Like I don't. Here's the thing: statistics, and you know, there is a difference between the data that's being collected and the conclusions that are drawn from that data.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And so I think where a lot of scientists, where their biases come in, is how they interpret the data. You know, because you can use data to very subtly mislead the public or completely mislead people. Like, you ever hear the old saying that what do they say? Something where it's like men think about sex, you know, every 15 seconds or something crazy like that.
Yeah, but I think that's bullshit.
Well, of course it's bullshit because the conclusion they actually came to is like, you know, they interviewed men and go, well, how often do you think about sex and for how long? And you know, and they probably was like, oh, like an hour a day, like an hour, you know, but instead of going, men think about sex for at least an hour every day, they go, oh, well, that divided by how many hours? And okay, well, yeah, they think about sex every 24 seconds, you know, and it's like, well, that's technically true. Right? I mean, because I think what would be more honest to go, a man has a sexual thought for every 24 seconds in a day, or something like that. But they intentionally mislead you, like men are just going oh pussy, oh pussy. That's not what's actually happening. So that's what I'm saying is people can. That's not really a great example, but it is an example. It's good enough. But this guy, he's saying, let me see. Let's just hit the key points here. Research Pew research indicates that over 60% of young men are currently single. Sexual intimacy is at a 30-year low across genders. Generation Z men are excessively turning to porn to satiate sexual needs with long-term consequences to their sexual health. Young men must reprioritize real-life relationships and intimacy, attuned to the shift in priorities that women have already made. See, that's where you lose me right there. What does that mean? Young men
Where's
must...
that part in it? Is that at the bottom?
No, it's at the top. Key points.
Right. Oh, okay. Got it.
Young men must reprioritize real-life relationships and intimacy attuned to the shift in priorities that women have already made. What priorities? Okay, so let's get into it.
Yeah. But wait, just to be clear, that's the part that you disagree with, is that fourth point.
Right. Well, it seems to me, because I skimmed this before the podcast, it seems to me that he's basically saying men and women. He's basically saying men have changed, women have changed, but men are responsible for both of those things. I don't understand how because that's not in the data. That's just a conclusion that you're drawing, which I think is wrong.
Okay, well, let's get into the article.
Okay, so he says, not only are more young men single, but their opportunities for developing a relational and sexual repertoire have all but vanished as levels of sexual intimacy across genders appear to have hit a 30-year low. Okay, he said that. Heterosexual men from elder millennials to boomers traversed young adulthood at a time when sexual intimacy was a common pathway toward attachment, with women actively seeking a romantic partner. Men could reliably depend on women's disproportionate investment in emotional and sexual attachment. Traditional masculine gender scripts, with a tendency toward avoidance of attachment, were suboptimal but functional in this constellation of relationship dynamics. However, the pandemic disrupted the status quo in college-age daters and accelerated women's reprioritization away from intimacy and toward academic, professional, and financial goals.
So wait, let's pause there. Let's break that down, those last two paragraphs, because I think the people might have glazed over during those two. Let's break those down.
I'll go for it. What you got to break?
Okay. So what they're saying is that the pandemic is the thing that precipitated, to a certain extent, this big change, right?
Well, that makes sense.
And, yeah, which makes sense. And the idea is that pre-pandemic, if you were a straight guy, then if you wanted a relationship, you could rely on the possibility, the probability that there was a significant portion of women out there who were interested in being in a relationship with a man, and they were putting themselves out there, and all you had to do was go out and find them, right? Because they were traditionally more interested in intimate relationships than men were. Men wanted to get laid, women wanted a relationship.
Yeah, but who is this motherfucker talking to, though? Because I don't think that changed with the pandemic. I mean, it was like that before the pandemic, where...
Well, I think the pandemic exacerbated that. I think what they're pointing at is prior to the pandemic, the seeds were already planted because women were reaching parity as far as income. They were outpacing men as far as educational achievement in certain fields. And so a lot of the reasons why women sought out male companionship in the past were becoming less powerful motivators for them to be in relationships. Okay. And then the pandemic supercharged that.
Well, let me read the next paragraph so I can argue against this fucking, because this is the cuck paragraph right here.
Okay.
This guy goes, so as young women continue to pursue intimate relationships less intently post-pandemic, men could have increased their relationship skills to close the effort gap. They could have confronted their relative avoidance and challenged the gender norms that made them so anxious about intimacy. They appear to have done the opposite, turning even further away from real-life relationships and into the virtual world. This is what I have a problem with, because what he's saying is men and women both did the same thing. Women turned away from relationships, turned away from less intimate stuff, and so did men. But he's saying it like, well, men should have done something to change that. What does that mean?
Well, but I don't think he's saying that men and women did the same thing. I think what he's pointing out is that women, and I don't have I'm going to assume that there's some data to back this up, but what he's saying is that women turned to education and employment and self-development, whereas men became more addicted to pornography and more addicted to social media.
Yeah,
Those are different things.
Look, this is what's happening right now. There are the there's the manosphere, the Kevin Samuel people out there, and there's also a woman's sphere, but I guess it would be more accurately described as like an anti-man sphere or whatever. I don't know what to call it.
Sure.
But there are people out there, both telling men and women what they want to hear, and that they are victims of the other gender, and fuck them. You need to dog these hoes out, and the Britney.
Yeah.
Britney. I was gonna say Britney Griner. What was her name? Britney Renner. Remember, she was famous because she would hold classes on like, yo, this is how you stick a man for his money. This is how
I know what you're talking about.
If you want to get a rich baby daddy, go one of these ball players. They stupid. You know what I mean? And this is how you make them think that you love them, and this is how, you know what I mean? And so it's like I don't. What am I trying to say? See, this is for me. This is just my own perspective. Most of the shitty men that I know will admit to being a shitty man, and maybe that's just because ever since I was a kid, you got points for being a player or dogging bitches out or whatever. So maybe men are just more freely willing to admit that. But the shitty women I know, the women that talk like this, the Britney Renners of the world, they don't think they're shitty people. They feel righteous about it because they blame men for. Because the truth is, 2 or 3 men broke their heart, and now they're like, "Fuck all these motherfuckers," which I totally understand. But it's weird. My point is, it's weird. It's weird for me to read this article that seeks to, in some way, hold men accountable for the dynamic shift in gender relations for their end, but completely absolves women because this whole generation's fucked.
But I think you're conflating 2 different things here. I don't think what you're talking about is necessarily what he's talking about.
So tell me how I'm misinterpreting this sentence. As young women continue to pursue intimate relationships less intently post-pandemic, men could have increased their relationship skills to close the effort gap.
Okay, let me explain with that. So, for instance, with Britney Renner, the problem with Britney Renner is not that she is pursuing relationships less intensely, or that she's telling women to pursue relationships less intensely. She's saying, like, here are some skills to manipulate men to get what you want from relationships at the expense of the men in your life, right? That's what's wrong with that. But what he is describing here in this article, he's talking about women who are maybe they're single, maybe they're not, but they are not trying to get the same things out of relationships as they used to.
Women aren't.
Women aren't. That some significant percentage of women are now getting a lot of the things that they used to get from relationships, like emotional support or financial stability or whatever, from their own careers, from their own social circles, and whereas men are not doing that. Men are not throwing themselves into their careers and making lots of money. They are turning inward, and they are using a lot more porn.
Well, I mean, listen, I haven't had the chance to click on any of these.
Sure.
Because he has a lot of citations here. Actually, you can't even click on some of them. You got to go like find the book and shit, which is kind of professional. But it seems like this guy is taking snippets from several different these are like cherry-picked factoids from like 15 different papers that aren't connected, you know, and he's jumping to a lot of conclusions. How am I trying to say this? I'm not saying that he's wrong.
Yeah.
He's not completely wrong. Obviously, these things are true. Men are watching a lot of porn. Why? I don't know if it's more than ever, you know, but we've always watched way more porn than women, for sure. But my problem with this article is it seems to go out of its way to not talk about women's role in this problem. The fact that young people are not jumping towards relationships can't possibly be just a product of something that young boys are doing. The whole culture has shifted into this weird, bizarro shit that we don't fully understand. But this article, it doesn't even one time mention anything that women have done wrong, have changed negatively. Right? And that feels like it's on purpose.
So, okay, well, I guess I have two things to highlight about that. Number one is the article itself is about men who are unhappy because they don't feel fulfilled. So if women are not in relationships to the degree that they were in the past, and that makes them unhappy, then that would be a problem that they could make changes.
Well, this doesn't say anything about it. Doesn't say anything about happiness. Even the headline of the article says, "Why are so many young men single?" So if it's all these young men are single, the women ain't single, or do they have harems out there or something? Or do they have like whole cults, like sex cults? No.
Well, it says
everyone's single.
It says the study found that among men under 30 years old, over 60% are single, almost double that of women in the same age bracket, which means that 60% of men under 30 years old are single and 30% of women under 30 are single. Now, part of that is going to be because generally the age disparity within a relationship is going to be the man is going to be older than the woman, right? So 25-year-old woman dating a 35-year-old man, not weird. 25-year-old man dating a 35-year-old woman, people look differently at that, even though obviously there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but you also know what it is too, because this is something else that we know is a fact, right? We know from the data we have from Tinder. We know that, you know, I don't know the exact numbers, but I'm going to be pretty close. But it's something like 80% of women are going after the top 20% of the men on those apps. So it's like a lot of this is, you know, the pretty boy with lots of game that always had all the girls. Now you know, when you were coming up and the dude that had 5-6 girls. Well, now that dude is digital and he's got 30 of them and they all think they're in a relationship. That's what this is. That seems like the obvious answer to me. You know, because again, you can take this snippet of data, but for you to draw the conclusion, for you to say that for you to take this study in 2021 and say the answer is from this study in 2016, that seems crazy to me. You know?
Well, let me attack this from a different angle. I think the purpose of this article or this opinion is to say, listen, a lot of men under 30 are single when they don't want to be. They're not having sex when they wish that they were. And the question is, what can you actually do about that? Because this doesn't talk about like whether women want to be in relationships and they're not or anything like that. That's not really part of the conversation here, because he's focusing.
But this doesn't say that. This doesn't say that they want to be. It just says that they're single. It doesn't say that they don't want to be single. Now I'm sure they want to have sex. I mean that just seems obvious. But I don't know if, you know, I don't know if a bunch of 20-something-year-old men are sitting around going, man, I wish I was in a relationship. You know, this is not something you hear.
I disagree with that, because I remember I watched like a recent thing from That Dang Dad, who's a great left-wing YouTuber. And, there was recently a big to-do on social media about, was the rise of the Andrew Tates and the Kevin Samuels and the manosphere stuff, was that because, all those guys are like super right-wing. And the question was, is that because the left wing doesn't have anything to offer young men as far as how to showing them a version of positive masculinity that is going to get them the things that they want in life, like self-determination and good relationships with women and create a family and have a good job and all that kind of stuff. And That Dang Dad made a video with a bunch of other left-wing YouTubers, and they asked their followers, like, what are you interested in? And the number one thing everybody asked was, how do I get a girlfriend?
Okay. Well, this guy, I think this guy sounds out of touch to me. Listen to how he wraps it up. He goes, the good news is that all these young single men can choose differently. They can choose to focus on developing the necessary relationship skills to be more successful in dating. It starts with reprioritizing the development of close, intimate relationships in their life for their own well-being and as a counterbalance to the shift in priorities for women. That is complete bullshit.
I don't think that's bullshit,
bro.
Man.
No, ain't no one. Listen, ain't no way. You listen, young men out there. You're not getting pussy because it has nothing to do with your lack of relationship skills. That's not what women are looking for. Because I'll put it to you like this: if you interview, I bet you if you go interview young women under 30, they won't. This will be the last thing they say. If you go interview all the young girls out here and ask them, so what are you looking for in a man for a relationship? They're not going to say just good relationship skills. No, they want a motherfucker that's with money or with good enough looks where their friends won't talk shit because he don't have no money. I'm just because those are two different things. I mean, how you getting laid and you getting in a relationship. Yeah, you need to develop your relationship skills to grow a relationship, but you won't even get the chance to start a relationship if you're not attractive enough to get laid. With the exception of I guess like if you kill 50 people, it's crazy white girls out there that'll fuck you in prison.
That's true.
Or if you're some kind of, if you got some kind of shit, actually, I don't even know if that's true. Do you think there would ever be a female equivalent of the shit we talked about a couple episodes ago where the guy was fucking, the 20-some-year-old girl, but she looked like she 9?
Yeah.
And this guy was like, yeah, but I love her. I look past her disabilities. I love her anyway. That kind of shit.
Yeah.
Can you imagine those gender roles being reversed? I can't. I don't think any. I mean, maybe. I mean, it would. I don't think any.
Wasn't Vern Troyer slanging? Went back in the days of Austin Powers and shit.
Who? Verna Troy? Is she a model?
Vern Troyer. No, he's mini me.
Mini me. Yeah. No. But he was a dwarf. So he still looked like a man. You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't see Mini Me and go, that's a fucking 9-year-old kid. No, this girl's she doesn't have dwarfism. She had some kind of operation that fucked with her pituitary gland. Like whatever her disease was.
Yeah, it is a form of dwarfism, but it's a different type.
What I'm trying to say is the treatment destroyed her pituitary gland, so she just didn't grow.
Right.
Anymore, which isn't the same as dwarfism, which is a genetic mutation that causes you to grow disproportionately, but you still age. You know what I mean? This lady looks like a child. Anyway, my point is, the only women that would date a man with that same issue would be like the most desperate. Because the guy that's fucking this 22-year-old, he's a good-looking guy. Like he looks like he could probably date. I mean, maybe I don't know. Maybe he has a micro penis or something. Maybe there's something that's making him desperate. I don't know. But he looks regular from the outside. Like he could date a regular, he
He's a
don't
good-looking
look,
dude.
yeah, he don't look like he
In
would have
shape.
trouble dating. So, with
Got
that
an accent.
they got an accent, yeah. But what that tells me is he is attracted to kids. And when he saw her, he was like, "Oh, thank God." It's just what it is. That has to be what it is. Because
What about those teachers who fuck like the 13-year-olds? Because sometimes they're hot. Sometimes it's like a hot teacher who's like 30. And she bangs like a 13, 14-year-old kid.
Yeah.
And they look like a kid. It's not a LeBron James situation where he looks 40 years old at 13 and a half.
Yeah, you're right. They are out there. They are out there.
Usually I think that the reason psychologically why they do that is because, again, they were hurt by somebody.
But you misunderstand me. I'm not talking about pedophiles. Like, I'm not talking about women that fuck kids. I'm talking about because again, all those teachers, they fucked kids, but they didn't go like publicly. You understand what I'm saying? Like they weren't like, yeah, I'm fucking this kid and I'm proud of it. It was like,
sure, but that's partly because they're underage. It's illegal.
Well, right, but those,
it's not illegal for the guy to date the 25-year-old who looks like a 9-year-old.
Exactly, it's not illegal, but it's also because I don't have a problem with their relationship.
Sure, yeah.
No, because
they're two adults.
Because
who fucking cares?
Listen, all the takes are all the same. Everyone's like, well, what's she supposed to do? Not be loved? So it ain't on her, right? And what is he supposed to do? What he's doing is not illegal. It's definitely strange. Because here's the thing. One of these days she's gonna be 40, and because he's just gonna keep looking older and older, and she's gonna keep looking way younger than. Because I'm sure she's gonna age slightly.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is the gap between her real age and how she looks is just gonna keep getting bigger and bigger. You know what I mean? Because she's 22 and she looks 9, and by the time she's 40, she's gonna look 12. And he's gonna look 50. you know what I mean?
Right.
And it's gonna be weirder and weirder and weirder. And I guess he don't give a fuck.
It's also tricky because generally, the term neoteny?
No.
Neoteny.
Yeah, we got to start doing a Rob word of the day.
Neoteny is where like it happens with a lot of mammals where adults retain infant-like features.
Oh yeah, isn't that like an Asian thing?
Yeah, there's an Asian thing. It's also like cats, for instance. One of the evolutionary adaptations of house cats is that the difference between a kitten and a fully grown cat is less than like a tiger cub and a fully grown tiger.
Right. Because the cuteness got them more stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And with humans, now I want to be very clear for everybody. I'm talking in generalities. Obviously, individuals occupy a wide range of body and facial types and sizes and attributes and all that shit. But generally, women tend to retain more adolescent features later on in life than men do.
So I mean,
so it is a little bit different to have like a 25-year-old. What I'm getting at is the pituitary dwarfism that woman has. She would look younger at 25 even if she were like fully grown than like the difference between a man at 25 versus a man at 9, right? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So obviously there's like that distinction goes in one direction, but I want to go back to like the takeaway of this article, right?
Yeah, because this is the part I do agree with here. He says, young men simply do not have an option but to counteract a generational inclination toward avoidance and withdrawal. Avoidance perpetuates avoidance, and that is the last thing 20-something-year-old men need right now in their life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. All the people I know that are in their 20s have this issue, like most of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they because it's so much easier to isolate, and because I think it all goes back to social media and the apps. To me, it's like you can put all your energy into this online, like this. If you think of social media as an MMO, it becomes way more clear, like an online RPG, because because I've had, I don't know, and I'm sure you have. Did EverQuest destroy any of your friends?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, EverQuest or World of Warcraft?
And World of Warcraft. For me, it was World of Warcraft.
Yeah, but you never played it, but do you know anyone that has, where it ruined their lives? Because I know plenty of people where like it took over their fucking life, ruined their marriage, all that shit, because they were putting all their energy into their online character. All their time, effort, all their planning, thought, it all went into this online character because that's what mattered to them, because that's where their friends were. You know what I mean? In their real life, nobody walked up to them and went, wow, holy shit, look at you. But when they would log on and people would see their level, 65 druid with the rare shoulder pads on, with the spell you could only get from that thing over there, people go, holy shit, and that's where they got the positive reinforcement. And so they were sucked in. And for a lot of them, it was their first time ever getting it. Now, it used to be just nerds kind of susceptible to it, But now with social media, it's its own sort of EverQuest. It's like it's not the real you that you're putting on Instagram. It's not the real you, but you get to cultivate it and dress it up and make it perfect and make it exactly the way you want to be represented. And there's new apps and new filters and new stickers and tags and all this other shit you can do to make your life look exciting, to show off for people, to make people go, wow. And they don't have to say wow, they just double tap it. The likes are, we're addicted to that. And anyway, our generation was lucky enough because we're the last generation ever that existed before social media and after. So right. Even though, because we're doing the same, because here's the other thing too, we're not immune. It's also happening to Gen Z. Like you know what I'm saying? Or anyone that's exposed to social media, the shit's happening to them. You know what I'm saying? My mom's.
Well, they're talking about Gen Z.
Yeah.
So about men under 30.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, right. I'm sorry. Yeah. It's happening. It's happening to millennials. Yeah, it's happening to millennials too, and it's happening to boomers too. You know what I'm saying? You ever get your grandma get on TikTok? You like, why the fuck did I let that happen? You know what I mean? They're hooked on it too, but their base is not that. Like if TikTok shut down tomorrow, I wouldn't have to my mom wouldn't have to go to counseling. You know what I mean? But there's people tomorrow like they talking about trying to ban it on a federal level. If they ban TikTok, a lot of kids gonna have an issue. They're gonna have a real fucking issue. Yeah. If TikTok went away, just because not like gradually, but if the bill got signed tomorrow and that shit went through, whoo, man, it would be a fucking problem. It would be a fucking psychological problem for a lot of children. Easy. Because because I used to, it's crazy because I remember Chappelle said something where people are upset because he said Twitter's not a real place, which is the sentiment of a lot of millennials. Sure. Twitter's not real. But the thing is, Twitter's not real the way money's not real. It's like it's not real, but we've all agreed that it means something. But because I think the more accurate thing to say is that Twitter and real life are separate for us, but to them there is no separation. To the young kids, to the Gen Z, it's one and the same. It's like their social media is their life. It's not like a separate thing to them.
Well, and I think that's what this article is ultimately getting at. Like if you look at what dating was like when I was in my 20s, then obviously we had social media when I was in my 20s, but the majority of my dating life it took place in real life.
Well, but also when we were in our 20s, social media existed, but it was truly just a way to stay connected with people that you actually do.
Correct.
Like some of you young kids don't know this, but like, Friendster, MySpace, you had to go find, like, they didn't show you stranger stuff. Mm-hmm. In fact, they didn't show you anybody's stuff. You just had your page that you was on, and you had to physically go to someone else's page to see what the fuck they was doing.
Right.
There wasn't a feed. There was no such thing. It was just you went to MySpace, and if you wanted to find somebody's page, you had to search their name and go there. But there was no constant. They weren't showing you stuff. Random strangers doing shit. No. It wasn't like that until I guess Vine maybe introduced that. Anyway, the point is,
I think it was the Facebook feed was like the big change. Right?
Yeah. So I guess
that was the inflection point.
I guess I do agree with most of this article. I think that is a problem. That people are less social, less connected, less able to handle intimacy, less able to communicate their feelings. Except, like, this was so crazy to me. Is I know somebody that I kind of sort of tried to date through their red flags. But what's so wild to me about this particular person is she could only talk about how she felt to her TikTok.
Yeah.
Like, if it was just me and her trying to be intimate, it was like it would always turn into this. I don't even know how to explain it, but it's like some people's idea of intimacy is or some people's idea of communicating their emotions is like they want it to come off carefully curated and perfect, like their TikTok does. But if you catch them in the moment, like, yo, how do you feel? Like, express yourself. They can't do that.
Right.
I need a few days to write it all out and practice it. You know what I mean? So it's a weird. Well,
that's exactly what this is talking about. This is saying that, like, the way I think about it is, it's like Twitter is real in the sense that it's a socially mediated space where we interact with one another, right? So the interactions are real, but it's sort of like when people say it's not real, it's the same way that they mean, like, oh, eating a bag of Doritos is not real food. It's like, well, yeah, it is real food, as in it has calories and macronutrients and stuff like that, but it's not like eating an actual, like, balanced meal. And what's happening is, like, too many people under the age of 30 are they're all they're eating is Doritos and Gatorade. Except in the social sense, right? They're getting this titrated drip of social media dopamine from these ephemeral interactions online, and they're not developing the interpersonal skills that you need in real life when you're interacting with somebody face to face.
Right. But again, that brings me back to my point: is how is that something that just young men are responsible for or need to deal with or change things?
I think because culturally we've always put more pressure on women, and there might be some genetic aspect to it as well, but to be socially capable, right? We've always thought of women as being more, women care about people and men care about things type stuff.
That's absolutely backwards. That's absolutely backwards. Because again, like I said, all this dude's data and references are dope, but every paragraph where he says young men need the X, there's no damn, there's no references. That's just his conclusions, right? Because here's the truth: if young women are not more social, that's just absolutely not true. Women tend to not even form, like, real friendships. Look, I ask people this question all the time. I ask crowds this question. I always go, hey, I find a random woman. I go, how many How many women have been your best friend that you don't talk to anymore? You know, and I'll get random numbers, 5, 8. Some people are crazy, 15. Or you get the old classic. I'm not friends with no women. I get along better with men. Which is just a long way to say slut. No, I'm just kidding. But then I ask that to men. Very rarely do I get a number that's not 0, and usually when it's I've never gotten over 2. You know what I mean? And usually that's from like betrayal. But women fall in and fall out all the time. I can't think. You married?
Yeah.
You married, right?
Yeah.
So how many times have your wife been like, "Oh my God, this is my fucking best friend. I love this bitch," and you don't see her for a while, and the next time you just to make small talk, you go, "Oh hey baby, how's Cheryl?" And she go, "Fuck Cheryl."
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, how is that
No,
more
Brian,
social?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You know what, man? We need a woman on this podcast.
Yeah, I know.
Because I know that like the women that are watching this are screaming answers to the stuff I'm saying, and I would love to just I should have some. Oh yeah.
Well, okay. But the place I want to end it on though is that because this is directed at men, I think that the advice is good, which is that because if the problem is that women are doing something wrong, well, there's not really much you can do as a man about that, right? But as a man, if the problem is that there is a skill deficit, or you need to change your perspective on dating, or you need to alter your behavior in terms of like reducing your porn usage or your time on social media or developing new skills, whatever, you can do that. You can make that change in your life.
Well, you know what?
And actually, if you do that, then you go out there, you'll be crushing it, because
no, you won't.
A lot of other people are slipping.
No, you won't. Because you know why? Because I guess this is where we differ in how we interpreted this. Because I don't feel like this is directed at men.
Oh, really?
No, this doesn't, and maybe that's the biases we came into this with, because I read this as like, it didn't feel like this was something that this guy wants men to see. This, because I told you when I was first skimming through it, I was like, oh, this was written by one of those blue-haired angry feminists. You know what I mean? Because this seems like the sort of, because what am I saying? This seems like the sort of thing that you write for a woman to read, so she feels like she don't have to do nothing different. Yep, just another thing. Yep, men out there fucking updating too. I don't have to change. That's what this seems like to me. And maybe that's my because I got my emotions was in it a little bbit, and normally I'm not, but maybe that's what it is I saw it as like, yeah, they all need to take responsibility. The young, because this ain't about me. This ain't about us. This is about the young kids. Right. And I don't. And if the goal of this article, I put it to you like this: I bet you there's nowhere on this website where there is a similar article pointed at Gen Z women. So if the goal of this article is to solve this problem, or at least contribute to the solution, to me it's not healthy to put this out there. And if what this guy meant to do is go, this is the problem, men need to change, I have a problem with that. If he's just saying, psst, young men, this is why you're not getting no pussy. Now, as far as what women need to fix, I don't got nothing for you. If that's his stance, then so be it. I doubt it. I bet if you ask this guy, he would feel exactly like I'm. Whatever. But I guarantee you, there's not an article on Psychology Today that like, this is how Gen Z women are fucking up, because they're all crazy. Like, because here's my thing: if we can agree that Gen Z has been fucked up by social media, if we can agree that that's true across the board, it's a problem, then it can't just be a problem for the boys. That's all I'm saying.
A factor that he might have not have put in there is, now when we watched porn back in the day, we didn't get intimacy, but now they can get intimacy because a lot of porn stars are doing ASMR where they just talk to the camera.
Oh,
and so now
Josh.
Wow.
So they don't have to date. I
Josh, you
have
just
my
cracked
girl.
it.
Cabaza. Okay, you got me. Yeah, you're right. You absolutely fucking right about that. You can get 3D ASMR. Yo, you now, and we talked about this a few episodes ago.
You can get a virtual girlfriend.
You can get a virtual girlfriend. No. But even more than that, you can get an AI to create a porn with any woman that you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With any woman you got a picture of. That's about to, because whatever's coming after Gen Z, they gonna really be single out this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And
I also think. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, and I don't want to, because I also hate this notion that being in a relationship is for everyone. Because it's not true. You know, it's like, because I've never been someone that felt felt like less, like worth less when I was single. Because some people that, like, it's their life's obsession is they're constantly in and out of relationships.
Serial monogamous.
Serial monogamists. Yeah. And I'm gonna say, off the top of my head, I'm thinking of like 6 people. 5 of them are women. And the truth is, they read shit like this, and they go, "Yeah, men ain't shit." You know what I'm saying? Not, and they don't go, "Yeah, the 25 relationships that didn't work out for me, it has nothing to do with me." You know, I mean, or they don't go, "My 25 failed relationships, yeah, I should probably work on something." No, they go, "Oh, I feel like shit. Why won't nobody propose?" And then they read this shit and go, "Yep, that's why."
I mean, I think there's another side to this also, which is let's look at what happened. If the issue is that all the women in their 20s are dating men in their 30s, right? And that's why there's this disparity. Because it'd be one thing if it was like, listen, for people under the age of 30, across the board, men and women, there are fewer relationships and less sex. But women are okay with it because they're getting fulfillment from these other things. And men are unhappy. But that's not what's happening, right? What's happening is that there's a disparity in the percentage of people under the age of 30 along gender lines of who's fucking and who's in relationships. And the men are lagging behind the women. That tells me the women are dating older people.
But I don't think, that's why I disagree. I mean, some of them are dating older people, but I think what it is that they're getting, more women are getting fucked by the same guys. That's what it is. It's like, there's a reason why, you know, Tinder and man, I'm not on the app, so I forget them off the top of my head. But there's
Hinge, Bumble,
Hinge,
Raya.
Bumble, Raya. There's a reason why those apps are doing very well. You know what I mean? But they're doing very well for the same people. You know what I mean? Because here's the truth. To be the sort of man that can fuck whoever you want, you gotta be fucking gorgeous or very rich. To be the sort of woman that can fuck most of the people that you want, you don't have to be that gorgeous. You just have to not be hideous. If you're just not repulsive, you can get laid pretty often as a woman. So when you go on these apps, it's like all the men that are like 8, 9s, and 10s, they're fucking 6s and up. They fucking them all. That's what I think is happening. You know, I don't think it's just that all the Gen Z girls are fucking millennials. You know, but I mean, I guess, you know, that could be some of it, but
I don't know. We'll have to do some more research. Well, the point I was going to make though is I'd like to see first off, I'd like to see satisfaction rates for people in their 20s. You know, are some people happier being single? Maybe that's the case. Also, I'd like to see what these numbers look like when you look at people in their 30s. And so now men have developed those skills that make them a decent partner. But then also, you know, the women, I don't know any women in their 20s who have problems dating. I know lots of women in their 30s who have problems dating because they spent their 20s They spent their 20s, working
They spent their
and stuff
20s
like
trying
that.
to fuck one of those top dudes. That's what it was. With this whole they talk about it all the time, hypergamy.
Yeah.
Right, where it's like when it to me, I guess the simplest way to put it is people always think they can do better. Mm-hmm. And it's like when our parents were kids, it's like you could only fuck the people in your fucking village or or in your little town. There was no way for you to, you would have some kind of pen pal or some crazy shit. But the people, the radius was real. You could only fuck the people that you could see. And now, because we said it last week, people are as loyal as their options. And when you have more options, and it's weird too, because sometimes when I'm watching porn, I end up in a situation where I've been sitting there for like 40 minutes. There's 50 tabs open because I still haven't decided. And I think that's how people date now, where they're like,
you haven't figured out which 5-minute clip you want to wife up for the end of your
right, yeah, because we're not, none of us are immune. It fucks with you, it fucks with your intimacy, and all of that. You know what I mean? It fucks with the way, especially because something I stopped doing. I didn't stop watching porn when I started hearing all this, but you know what I stopped doing? I stopped fast forwarding because it was fucking with me psychologically. When I was trying to have real sex, of this whole thing where skip that part. All right, because most porns follow the same basic layout, but it was like, all right, kissing, okay, all right, fondling, okay, all right, hand job, okay, blow job, okay, skip, and it's like the clip is already only like 8 minutes, but I would skip to your whatever your little progression of sex is in your head, is like it can't be healthy for you to go 3 seconds of this, 3 seconds of that, 3 seconds of that, I came. You know what I mean? Because that's not how real life intimacy isn't. It isn't like, okay, the moment I'm tired of this, we on to the next thing. And the second I'm tired of that, we on to the next thing. It's this slow progression that you're supposed to enjoy and participate in and be present for. And you don't have to be present for porn.
Right.
No, you're.
And I think that's one of the intimacy skills that he's talking about.
Being present
in this article, just being present, and the fact that using porn and mediating your social interactions through apps has prevented people in general, but especially men, I think, from developing those skills. And so you're not only are you a bad partner in terms of your relationship, but you just can't fuck as well as previous generations possibly could.
Oh yeah,
because
even with all the moves in the gadgets. So if you, hey guys, this is definitely gonna be something that everyone wants to weigh in on. Weigh in the comments. Let us know. Comment on the goddamn YouTube video, because this is something that I guess we could talk about this all day, but I don't want to do that. So I want to get at least one email before we go.
All right.
And this guy sent another voicemail. Did you see this?
I did, yes.
Mr. New Zealand here, just checking in. Another amazing show. Thank you for the warning about the arse eating, or ass eating as you call it. I'll be very careful next time I go to a New Zealand arse eating convention. I'll make sure I warn all my friends. Just a brief note about the accents that you have a bit of trouble with. New Zealand, fuck me, we don't sound like Australians, mate. Just a couple of examples. We have a meal here. It's a fast food or takeaway, fish and chips or fish and fries for you Americans. In New Zealand, we would say fish and chips. In Australia, it's fish and chips with the sidekick, or sidekick. Yeah, Brian. In New Zealand, you'd say that little sidekick, he's pretty cool. In Australia, you'd say, oh yeah, that fucking sidekick, he's a pretty good cunt, eh? I think probably the best example of the difference, Australians are probably a little bit more like Americans, and we're a bit more like how Canadians see themselves. If we had a big sports match, New Zealand won, we'd say, oh yeah, great game of two halves, good luck to the winner, really enjoyed it. Australians would say, oh yeah, we won that fucking game, we're the fucking best, mate. Fucking Australia, fucking awesome.
I think Australia would say football's illegal now.
Oi, oi, oi. It sort of carries on like that. So anyway, looking forward to the next show. Keep it up, guys.
Oh, that was great.
Tony's dope.
Yeah, well, thank you, Tony. That was great, and he's right. He's right about most of that. But I recently
I love the comparison of New Zealand and Australia being like Canada.
Well, I recently learned, and I heard this third hand from somebody. Oh, you know what? Shane Gillis said this to me. But I don't know if he mentioned New Zealand too, but they must have been a part of it. But basically, their accent came from English, from the original English people settling there, being drunk all the time.
Yes.
Because they didn't have
That's true.
They didn't have water, or they didn't have clean water. I don't know what the situation was, but they drank a lot of alcohol, and then that next generation of kids grew up hearing their parents speak English drunk. And that's where the Australian accent comes from. Now, why is the New Zealand accent slightly different? One of them discovered weed first. That's what makes sense to me. Is one's higher than the, I can't do a drunk English person.
Yeah, you sort of sound like a Kennedy, which
Yeah.
talk about drunk.
All the time. Okay.